Now, the guy that really orchestrated this whole event, the guy that really is the mastermind behind this, I'm about to bring to the stage, and he's a great friend of mine. I've known him for a short amount of time, but it feels like much longer, and I really hope that you all give him a nice warm welcome, as he is the man with a plan. Please give your warmest welcome for Mark Evans!
Thank you. Give yourselves a hand for coming out. It's 9 days at sea. You have a port tomorrow, and you're going to stay up till past 11 o'clock. Thank you very much for coming out. This is a special thing, as you may already know. I did a seminar a couple of days ago and had several people come out. We had a lot of fun, and then we had a few that actually want to give this a shot. So spent several hours with them yesterday, and I do want to take this chance to go way out. First of all, thank you for Noonan for bringing this into the big room here. Come on. And I also want to thank the other performers, Tommy Drake, Lance Montalto, Larry Omaha. They all pitched in to help these comics get ready, and Peter Gross, he actually hypnotized me into thinking I could do this for these episodes. Now, real quick, every comic ever started out this way. Maybe not doing it on a ship, but they all started out with an open mic. It's because they wanted to make people laugh. And it's just that simple. So tonight, if you think there's something funny, laugh out loud. If you think something's, even if you don't think it's funny, laugh out loud. And when you laugh out loud, laugh a little harder, okay? Because I got to tell you, they're back there scared to frickin' death. But they don't need to be, do they? Because we're all their friends. Yes. And something that you may know this, but on taking a poll, a national study, public speaking is the #1 fear amongst everybody. You know what came in second? Death. So dying on stage would have to be #1, actually. So. But that's not going to happen tonight. That was kind of funny, but for me, I don't care how hard you laugh. I got off work last Wednesday. Let me go back and do that punchline again, and this time you're going to laugh like you do when you hear them come up here. So, dying on stage has probably got to be the #1 fear. That's what we want to hear. Okay, enough about me. Let's bring up your first comedian. Now, tonight they're not guests. Tonight they're comedians. He joins us from the ship from West Virginia. Please give it up. Warm welcome, Jerry Manning.
This is called the dry mouth syndrome. What they did tonight is they saved the worst for first, so it'll go uphill from here. I am Jerry. I am from West Virginia. Almost heaven. But occasionally, even in almost heaven, we do have some troubles. Just a couple of weeks before we got on the cruise, we had a tornado that come through our little town. And it just did so much improvement. About $10 million they estimated. The only thing that I saved out of my little trailer was my toothbrush. You all probably didn't know that the toothbrush was invented in West Virginia, did you? Did anybody know that? Yeah, if it had been invented anywhere else, they would have called it a teeth brush. I was a minister, pastor in churches for about 35 years. And of course, in 35 years, you do lots of weddings and lots of funerals and that sort of thing. A little while back, I did a funeral, and as is my custom, I usually will ask the folks who's standing around the grave if anybody would like to say anything. And Clara, the widow, said, yes, I would like to say something. Now, you don't know Clara's husband, but he was one of these folks who was a Andy Capp. Do you know Andy Capp? Andy is a drunkard, and he's a gambler, and he's a womanizer, and he's everything that you don't want your husband to be. Wouldn't come home at night. Would just stayed out. And when Clara came up, she said, I just got one thing to say. Said, for the first time in 20 years, I know where he's going to be tonight. And sometimes when I get a little nervous, I might start stuttering a little bit. So y'all just look over that. And it happened to me just recently. I kind of retired from being a pastor, and I went to apply for another job, and I'd always wanted to be a radio announcer. I just always thought I could do that really good. So I went for the audition, and I knew I was going to do it good, but I didn't get the job. They were prejudiced against the senior citizens. Thank you very much. You've been very kind. I'm Jerry from West Virginia.
I got a city folk friend in a hip-hop world. He goes by E. Biddy, but his name is Earl. Cocks his hat to the side in his grandma's ride.
Jerry Manning, everybody. Come on. All right, we're going to keep it going. Let's get this up for him a little bit. Our next comedian from Los Angeles. Give it up for Bob Patton.
Hey folks, how you doing? Well, I have to tell you that I was a little uncomfortable coming up here tonight because as an attorney, you know, I usually sit in the audience and I'm the butt of the joke. So, you know, I've never been the class clown, never been a real cut-up, you know. So, I really shouldn't be up here. But I love comedy. I'm sure like you know, this is great. So I thought, you know, I'll go to Mark Evans Comedy School and, you know, maybe they can kind of coach me through it, you know. And but I still just didn't feel like I was at home. So the other comedians were great. You know, they got up there and they were sharing and everything. And, you know, and then I found out that Lance Maltalto suffers from Tourette syndrome. Larry Omaha is a self-confessed nymphomaniac. Peter Gross has delusions of grandeur that he really can hypnotize people. Mark Evans, well, he confessed to me that he's struggling with bulimia. And, oh yeah, Tommy Drake. Well, you know, he's a juggler, and I mean, you know, we all know they've got problems. I mean, so I thought it was okay. And the other thing they told me is that when I grab the mic, I'm in complete control. So folks, I just want you to all relax. The ship's in good hands. Okay? Yeah, because I'm in complete control. So anyway, though, my dad, he has what is called clinically borderline personality disorder. I know, very serious, right? Well, the bottom line, though, is my dad, he gets angry all the time about the smallest things you'd never know. I mean, he goes, let me give you an example. We were camping, and he got his favorite loaf of bread, you know, at the picnic table. About 11 in the morning, this big raccoon comes down the hill, grabs the loaf, and runs up the hill with his loaf of bread. Now, wouldn't all of us just stay there? It's a raccoon. I mean, these are like wolverines. I mean, they're, you know. My father charged up the hill after the raccoon. I'm about 12, and I'm watching this happen. And not only that, he charged into the raccoon's den and wrestled the raccoon for the bread. Now, if that's not crazy enough, well, but he then decided he was going to teach this raccoon a lesson. I mean, wouldn't we all just drop it right there? No, and not only that, he was going to shame the raccoon so that he would never do this again. So he got a water balloon, fills it up with water, puts bacon grease all over it, hangs it from a tree. It's about, 4 feet tall. Sure enough, raccoon grabs it, kapow, the raccoon jumps 3 feet in the air, is on the ground, what happened, runs back up the hill. My dad's pleased. So anyway, the lesson, folks, is if you have a parent, try to make sure they get over their borderline personality disorder. If not, don't worry, because it could be the motivation for you to do the stand-up routine on a cruise ship. How about that? Thank you.
Friday night to get the feeling right at the bar when
Pat,
he
he's
sees her
gone.
coming
Well,
over.
he's gone. Our next comedian, I think he's going to get the prize for one of the longest trips to get to the ship. Maybe not the longest, but one of the longest. He comes to us from Hawaii. Please give it up for Rand Pellegrino.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Cocked your head to the side and said I'm angry. 5 days since you laughed at me, saying get that together, come back.
Hi, thank you. I'm Rand. A while ago, I was going to get married, and so I went to my dad and said, "Dad, you and Mom has got a good marriage. What's the secret to it?" He said, "Well, son, when we first got married, after the marriage, we went up to the honeymoon suite, and I took off my pants and I said to your mother, here, put these on." And she tries to put them on, and she goes, "I can't wear these. These are way too big." And I said, "That's right. I'm the man. I wear the pants, and just remember that." Thanks, Dad. So, get married, go up to the honeymoon suite with my new wife, take off my pants and say, "Here, dear, try these on." She tries to put on, she says, "I can't wear these. These are way too big." I said, "That's right. I'm the man. I wear the pants, and remember that." She takes off her panties and hands them to me and says, "Here, put these on." I said, "These panties are way too small. I can't get any of these panties." She said, "That's right. You keep acting like that, and you never will." Other end of the marriage, couple's getting old, and the wife says to the husband, you're older than me, and men usually die younger than their wives. It's time maybe we should go to see a financial planner and take care of our everything. And she goes, "Well, okay, dear, I guess you're right." So they go to the financial planner, and they're sitting there, and the financial planner says, "Well, if you die first, how do you feel about your wife getting remarried?" He goes, "I didn't think about that." And the wife says, "Well, dear, I'll be kind of young. Do you want me to sit around and do nothing, or should I marry somebody else?" He goes, "Well, I guess you're right. I love you. Yeah, go marry somebody else." And then he says, "Well, but our house, I built that for you. Would he live in our house?" And she goes, "Well, dear, if we live in the house you built for me, every time we walk in through the house and everything, it'll remind me of you, and there's a way of keeping you with me." He goes, "Well, then, I guess okay, yeah, you can keep the house. But my Ferrari, you wouldn't let him drive my Ferrari, would you?" He goes, "Well, dear, you always said it's got to be driven at least once or twice a month, otherwise they start disintegrating. So, don't you think we should go out at least once or twice a month in your Ferrari? And anyway, anytime we get in it, it'll remind me of being with you." He goes, "Well, okay, yeah, go and drive the Ferrari. My golf clubs, you wouldn't let him use my golf clubs, would you?" She goes, "Oh, no, silly, he's a left-hander." A couple of years ago, my wife and I were on a cruise, and it stopped in New Zealand. And it's a beautiful city, and you kind of hike up this trail, and it's a beautiful park. And we're sitting in this park, and these two gorgeous blonde gardeners, I guess, because they had gardener shirts on, come walking by, and the first one's digging this hole, and the one behind her is filling it in. And then she goes about 15 feet and digs another hole, and the one behind her fills it in. Well, after about four of these holes, I'm getting really curious. So I go up to the two gardeners and said, "I'm really curious. Is this some kind of aeration thing or something? You're digging holes and filling them in?" And she looks at me and says, oh no, there's just usually 3 of us, and the one that puts the tree in the hole, she called in sick today. I was talking to this guy, went to Spain, like we're going, and he liked bullfights. So he went to this bullfight, and it was a good bullfight. And after it was over, he's leaving the arena, and there's a little cafe type thing with a sign that said, special de huevos. He goes, well, in a foreign country, I think I'll try the foreign plate. Sits down, orders huevos. These 2 big round things sitting on his plate. And he goes, well, might as well try it. I mean, it's what people eat. So he cuts into it, tries it. It's pretty good. So he finishes it, and he said to the waiter, by the way, sir, what are these things? And the waiter says, those are bull balls. He goes, oh, well, they were good. Okay, and he leaves. A week later, he goes to the bullfight. Coming out of the bullfight, there's a sign that says, special de huevos. And he goes, those were good. I think I'm going to get them again. Sits down, orders huevos. This time it comes out 2 little tiny ones sitting on a plate. And he looks at the waiter and he goes, sir, I was here a week ago. Big round balls. I mean, what's this? The waiter looks at him and he says, well, senor, the bull doesn't always lose. Thank you. My name is Rand, and I come from Hawaii.
3 days as a living room. I realize it's all my fault, but couldn't tell you yesterday. You'd forgiven me, but it'll still be 2 days till
So anyway, our next comedian is part of the Ninja Twins, or the twins we've seen running around the boats. Yeah. It's funny enough, her redheaded twin was born in Ireland. She comes to us from Kentucky. Hadn't figured that one out. Please welcome to the stage, Jada Amos.
As Mark said, I am here with my twin sister, Ashley. She's right here in the front row. We came together and left our family at home. So before we left, we watched some old family videos, got a little teary-eyed. But there was one where we were learning to walk. And you know how those go. Your grandparents and parents, and they all get really excited and they clap and they tell them how good they're doing. And you think they won the Nobel Prize, but they're just walking. And of course, Ashley goes and she's walking and she looks great. And then it's my turn. And I get up there and I start walking. And my mom goes, oh my God, Larry, look at her legs. I'm bow-legged. And so my parents loved me, so they brought me to the doctor to try and fix me. But it was before they had the prescription pad pill fixes all kind of mentality. And so I got the Forrest Gump robot with the bar in the middle. Everyone's always had trouble telling my sister and I apart. And so they always ask us, how can you tell the difference? They never wait for an answer. They think they're clever and they say something like, you should get a tattoo, J and A. And I'm thinking I'm 12 and not an idiot, so I'll pass. This was a time in our lives no one needed any hints to tell the difference. Ashley would be coming along, and you could just hear me. She comes around the corner, and then I'd be falling because I get stuck trying to catch up. And then I'd crawl, and I'd crawl. And my mom, she felt terrible about this, so she took them off way too early. So I had this beautiful, perfect leg right here. And then I had this one. And I'd walk like this. So for the next 10 or 15 years of my life, I'd be walking along, and my mom would say, Jada, look at your feet. Straight, left, right, boom, cart. We're in the grocery store. I don't know where I came from. I get in middle school, and everyone thinks that I'm the shy loser of the twin. Again, with the comparisons, Ashley's always like, hi, waving to everyone. And I'm like, left, right, locker! Growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. I remember my mom going to try and get food stamps. And they said, no, you can't have food stamps. You're paying for a refrigerator right now. And my mom says, if I could pay for the refrigerator, I wouldn't need food stamps. But Ashley and I, we played together. We went outside. We made mud pies. Inside, we'd use pots and pans as a drum set. And my mom didn't mind because we had no food for them anyways. But there are some things that you just can't skimp on. A pacemaker, a gas stove, and your child's education. When I was younger, I had a small problem reading. It's okay, I can read better now. You were all supposed to go, aw, but I'm better now. My parents, being the frugal people they are, didn't put me in Sylvan. They got me the generic version of Hooked on Phonics. It messed up almost immediately in the boombox, and the only part I got was LMNOP, which I assumed was one letter, just spoken, really long. The booklet that helps you with the alphabet was stapled and it came undone. Put it back together. I don't know how it goes. So I'm learning the ABCs, A, B, C, D, R, S, T, E, F, Q. And so when I start kindergarten, my teachers are worried I'm dyslexic because I can't get my ABCs right. So they have a parent-teacher conference, and they're talking to my parents, and they just realize I don't have dyslexia. My parents are just cheap. I got pulled over about a month ago for a DUI, swerving a little bit. And I'm telling the cop I don't drink. And he's like, okay, standard test, walk a straight line. And I'm can't quite manage. He's ready to haul me in, and I'm like, listen, I'm 26, I've never had a drop of alcohol in my life. He doesn't believe me. So he says, okay, give me your ABCs. Thank you guys.
Everybody, come on, Our next comedian won't give me her last name. I'm not sure why.